potato.
This afternoon, hundreds of new jobs land in SA as the state secures 2 major business deals. Authorities on edge, tough new border restrictions for travellers from New South Wales. Local Indian cricketers outraged after a racist attack involving raw meat. The city pizza bar owners using social media to shame a suspected thief. And Hinkley and Nix fire barbs ahead of the first showdown of the season.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Mike Smithson.
Good afternoon. Hundreds of new jobs have landed in South Australia as the state secures 2 major business deals. As Tim Hatfield reports, the announcement's also good news for local holiday makers.
500 new tech jobs are in the pipeline here at Lot 14, but over at the airport another 200 positions are ready to land, and that's set to provide a huge boost to the local travel industry.
5 Alliance Airlines Embraers like this one will be stripped and decked out in Qantas colours to service new routes, including direct flights to the Gold Coast and Canberra.
The aircraft has amazing range. It can fly 4,500 kilometres, which means it can get to just about anywhere from Adelaide.
These aircraft are going to be crewed and maintained here.
The Premier is flying high.
More aircraft, more routes, more people coming into South Australia, and of course 200 jobs are here in our state.
And with more seats to lure holiday makers, the airlines will be fighting for your flying dollars. Qantas says trips to the Gold Coast will start at $149, putting pressure on competing airlines and existing fares. IT jobs are also on their way to Adelaide, thanks to a deal struck with American tech firm MTX.
Primarily because of the leadership that's been shown within Adelaide around AI, machine learning, great schools, great access to talent.
The airline jobs and the roles at MTX are set to start filling by the end of the year.
South Australian Police have announced tough new border restrictions as New South Wales grapples with a COVID outbreak. Anyone who's been to an exposure site in Greater Sydney is now banned from entering the state, and that includes essential travellers and those relocating. The new regulations came into force at midnight after 2 cases of community transmission were detected in Sydney earlier this week. As for anyone who arrived before then, if they've been to a hotspot, they'll need to self-isolate for 14 days and be tested on days 1, 5 and 13. A mask has to be worn any time they come into contact with a member of the public. In some encouraging news, New South Wales has recorded no new local cases after 24 hours of frantic testing. South Australia, meanwhile, has recorded 3 new cases, all returned travellers. The Adelaide businessman charged over the brutal assault of a Chinatown bubble tea employee has failed to front court for his first appearance. His reason? He's in quarantine awaiting the result of a COVID test. Deanna Williams has the details.
Members of the Chinese community, angry over the no-show, say the entire incident has brought shame on them. On a warm January night in Chinatown, an argument turns violent. Customers, including children, watch in disbelief as a female employee cops a slap to the face, then a kick to the stomach. After viewing the disturbing footage, which went viral, police charged Adelaide businessman Leigh Gore, known as Gavin, with assault. He was supposed to front court today, but was a no-show. His lawyer produced a medical certificate saying his client was in quarantine, awaiting the result of a COVID test.
Really bad. It gave a very bad reputation for the Chinese.
Keith Jin says members of his community are furious.
The whole Chinese community is very angry about it. Not only in Australia, the people in China very angry about it. The Chinese are not supposed to be like that.
Gore's gone to ground since the incident and wasn't answering the door at his Glen Osmond home today either. Gore will have to turn up when the case returns to court in July.
5 pedestrians are seriously injured after being struck by a B-double at an intersection in Melbourne. A truck driver is under arrest but claims he wasn't aware of what happened. Tegan Dolling reports.
Residents say this corner has sadly been an accident waiting to happen. It was around 7 p.m. last night when a group of people standing at this South Bank intersection were hit by the B-double truck, which mounted the curb and took out the traffic light in the process. Bystanders were forced to cradle the injured and lift the traffic light off of them. The driver didn't stop, but a Good Samaritan followed him and was able to relay his number plate onto police, who found the truck 24 kilometres away and arrested the driver.
In a city suburb like South Bank, you would know that it's pretty heavily populated with pedestrians. You would know that you would run over something and that you would at least stop. Even if infrastructure was damaged, you'd have to at least stop. And in this case, he didn't.
5 people were taken to hospital, 4 men, including a food delivery rider and a woman, all were aged in their 20s and 30s. And 2 of those people are still in a critical condition.
The first showdown of the season's almost here, and it'll be a taste of true footy weather for the first capacity crowd allowed back at the Oval. Amelia's there this afternoon. How's the forecast looking, Amelia?
Well, Mike, we've got a change on the way. So while we won't see today's warmth and sunshine tomorrow, the seated capacity crowd here should be spared the brunt of any bad weather. So by 7 o'clock for around the first bounce, there's just a 20% chance of any rain. Most of it would have cleared through. The temperature will be in the mid-teens, although it'll pay to rug up. The temperature is expected to drop to around 13 degrees when it's time to leave. The Sample Showdown curtain raiser may not fare as well. It's on at around 3:30 with showers forecast to clear by mid-afternoon. Now, there are only several hundred tickets available, and if you are one of those who are lucky enough to have one, you are reminded to get here early and that masks and QR codes are compulsory. And both sides, both the Crows and Port Adelaide, have made some pretty big changes to their sides ahead of tomorrow's showdown as well. We'll have all the latest team news in sport a little later in the bulletin, Mike.
Sure will. Thanks, Amelia. The federal government has decided to lift the travel ban placed on India, announcing a number of repatriation flights will resume. As Taylor Aiken reports, the Prime Minister said all states will need to pitch in.
Good afternoon. There are over 9,000 people wanting to return home to Australia from India as the COVID crisis on the subcontinent intensifies. A temporary ban imposed last week prevented people from entering Australia if they had been in India in the past 14 days. The federal government facing intense backlash over the controversial ban, even a federal court challenge, with the issue dominating political debate. But Prime Minister Scott Morrison today defended the action once again, saying the pause had done its job in decreasing the strain on hotel quarantine.
The biosecurity order that we have put in place has been highly effective. It's doing the job that we needed it to do, and that was to ensure that we could do everything we can to prevent a third wave of COVID-19 here in Australia.
From next Saturday, there will be 6 repatriation flights this month, 3 to Howard Springs outside Darwin and 1 each to New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria. The most vulnerable will be given priority, with all passengers required to test negative twice before boarding. Commercial flights are still banned, with no indication given on when they will be able to resume. The government saying they will take additional health advice next week and monitor the impact of the repatriation flights. Scott Morrison also indicating he will be meeting with India Prime Minister Modi this afternoon as the country's health system teeters on the brink of collapse. Train carriages have been converted to COVID wards and rickshaws now double as ambulances, as India records the grim new milestone of more than 400,000 cases in a single day. That is a record, a global record since the pandemic began.
Dozens of Air Force personnel have taken over King William Street as part of a military march through the city. The Freedom of Entry Parade is one of our oldest surviving military traditions, dating back to medieval times. But this year the march kicked off with an Indigenous smoking ceremony. And it was all eyes to the sky as an AP-3C Orion aircraft flew overhead. Convicted rapist Jarryd Hayne has spent his first night behind bars and his lawyers begin the appeals process. Now police are also investigating shocking scenes outside court yesterday as his supporters left the sentencing hearing. Paul Caddack has more.
Good afternoon. As Jarryd Hayne spends his first full day in custody as a convicted rapist, his legal team has already lodged an intention to appeal. But it's police now investigating what happened outside the Newcastle court after Hayne was sentenced to a maximum of 5 years, 9 months jail for sexual assault, an altercation between Hayne's supporters who were surrounding his wife and members of the media, with claims too one of those supporters spat towards Hayne's victim at the court.
Those things were disgusting, not acceptable and not the Australia that I know and not in line with what we expect.
There's also been a backlash today against two of Hayne's former teammates who supported him on social media. Tony Williams posting, "Want to congratulate the victim and the so-called justice system. You've sent an innocent brotherly to jail." Krishnan Inu referred to the so-called victim, posting, "Don't think justice was served. The things that was said about my boy wasn't what he's about." But he then later posted, "I for one 100% don't support any rapist." Williams's post has backfired on him in a big way. His contract with the new US League team, the New York Freedom, has been terminated, the club condemning his comments. And tonight at 6 p.m, what the NRL is now saying about the prospect of stripping Jarryd Hayne of his Dally M honours.
Social media giant Facebook was up before the federal court today, accused of breaching the privacy of Australian users. The case involves an app downloaded by thousands, but which came to affect millions. Chris Marr has more.
Well, digital giant Facebook is continuing its court battle with Australia's Privacy Commissioner over alleged breaches of privacy laws. Facebook's lawyers have been before the full bench of the federal court today. Now they're seeking leave to appeal an earlier decision that upheld that Facebook does collect and store personal information in Australia through the installation of cookies on its devices. Australia's Information Commissioner has accused Facebook of breaches of privacy laws by leaving its users exposed to having their data sold and used for purposes such as political profiling. It follows, of course, the scandal over Cambridge Analytica, the company that assisted the Donald Trump campaign. Facebook has told the full bench today it shouldn't be subject to proceedings in Australia because it doesn't do business here, that its actions are all based overseas and it merely has a digital effect in Australia. The Information Commissioner argues that Facebook was directly involved in setting up the platform responsible for data collection. Now, an estimated 270,000 Australians are affected by the alleged data breaches.
Vandals have dumped oil and mincemeat on a cricket pitch in the northeast used by Hindu Indian migrants every weekend. Up next, the public's response to the attack. Plus, the fishermen's fight in the English Channel, why old maritime tensions have resurfaced, the Australian research breakthrough that could change burns victims' lives, deadly shootout, the drug crackdown that took a horror turn, its devastating death toll next, and caught red-handed, see a suspected pizza thief's clumsy crime captured on camera.
Think running into your ex is awkward?
Hi, Milo.
Try being arrested by them.
As much as it pains me to say this, I gotta take you to jail.
Jennifer Aniston and Gerard Butler in the criminally funny romantic comedy, The Bounty Hunter. Tonight, 7:30 on 7 Mate.
At Spotlight, life's what you make it with Living Essentials Digital Air Cooker 12 litre, now $99. 40 to 50% off all fabric by the metre. 50% off Triumph LED magnifying floor lamp. So bake it, stitch it and create it for less. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
The new Subsavers menu is filled with huge value, like snacks starting from $2. One of 4 Subway 6-inch subs for only $5. Or Subway footlong subs with a drink for only $9.95. Subway, eat fresh.
At Portside Mitsubishi, drive a little and save a lot on our selection of new demo and used vehicles. We'll give you more for less with savings across our entire range. So don't go anywhere, don't buy anything, don't sign anything until you've checked out the deals at Portside Mitsubishi.
When help is far from reach, when hope is lost in an instant, a familiar face finds you, experience reassures you, and innovation carries you. They're yours. They're Australia's Royal Flying Doctor Service.
Save on premium artificial grass with the Australian Outdoor Living Autumn Sale. With savings across our entire range of artificial grass, now's the time to create your perfect lawn without the hard work. Say goodbye to watering, mowing and edging, and welcome back your weekends. Bring your backyard dreams to life with artificial grass by Australian Outdoor Living.
Australian Outdoor Living.
What do you do, Mayor?
I'm a detective. I need you to remember as much as you can. We can find out who did this.
Now streaming on Binge.
Can you bring the glasses? Oh, it's annoying. They're still wet.
To help avoid that, just add Finish Rinse Aid. It speeds up drying for drier and shinier dishes. Try Finish Rinse Aid today.
Come and meet the team at Knowles Island Star. Real enthusiasts with first-hand experience. They don't just sell the dream, they live it. And you'll love the way they do business.
Knowles Caravans, Knowles Caravans. Your radiance comes alive.
Receive your free limited edition bangle when you spend $150 on Pandora jewellery. Available for a limited time only while stocks last. Conditions apply.
Subsavers! The new Subsavers menu is filled with huge value, like snacks starting from $2. One of 4 Subway 6-inch subs for only $5. Or Subway footlong subs with a drink for only $9.95. Subsavers! Subway. Eat fresh.
Dynamo Professional stain experts are testing the toughest stains to develop our best performing stain removal. Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus removes stains for a superior clean. Try Dynamo Professional.
This is Adelaide's only 4 p.m. news live from 7's Hindmarsh studio. We've had a mostly sunny day in the city today. Perfect weather for a stroll through the central market. It's currently 21 degrees there. The local Indian community's up in arms over a racist attack at a northeastern suburbs cricket pitch. As Peter Caldecott reports, a pile of mincemeat was dumped on the strip, infuriating players.
Last Sunday morning, community Indian cricket teams at Hughes Hargrove Reserve arrived to find their beloved pitch had been desecrated. Vandals dumped oil and mincemeat on the wicket in what's been described as a deeply offensive and targeted attack.
I would describe it as a racist attack because of Hindu mythology, we believe the cow as like a motherly figure. So it's very like a holy thing for us.
7 News understands matches played by Hindu Indian migrants every weekend have upset some locals who believe they've taken over the reserve. But residents like Jan say the attack is sickening. She's kept some of the mince as evidence in case police come knocking.
This is just a very small portion of the meat that was found on the cricket pitch.
What are you thinking? Like I said, is that a normal way to act? How would you feel if that was you, someone was doing that to? You'd just be mortified.
The Tea Tree Gully Council's Deputy Mayor says council strongly condemns all acts of racism and damage to public property, which are not only unacceptable, they are illegal. The players want to see the vandals arrested.
I think police need to intervene. If they found a responsible person, I think a fine is the appropriate things to be done.
Anyone who witnessed the racial attack should contact the Tea Tree Gully Council or police.
Australian researchers have made a breakthrough in reducing scar tissue. A team at the University of Queensland was able to alter the healing process in animals by targeting the gene that leads to scarring. Trials on humans are also needed, but researchers don't believe the process will be difficult to replicate. The discovery could make a significant difference to burn victims and other trauma patients. Britain and France have revived tensions of a time gone by in a new maritime dispute. There were boat collisions, warships and even a musket as fishermen fought for the right to sink a line. Sarah Greenold has more.
Well, this was certainly a fairly dramatic escalation of the tensions between Britain and France. Those on land on the island of Jersey say it felt like an invasion as they watched 60 French fishing vessels arriving to blockade the port at St Helier this morning. They were protesting their post-Brexit fishing rights. Now, there was at least one collision between two of those boats, deliberate or not. There were also 4 military vessels in the vicinity. Boris Johnson had ordered 2 Navy gunboats to go down to the English Channel and monitor the situation. The French had also sent 2 of their military vessels as well. Jersey is close in physical proximity to France, just 14 miles away, but its foreign policy is governed by the UK. So under these new rules and regulations post-Brexit, French fishermen have to apply for a fishing licence. They also have to prove that they've had a history of fishing in that area. So operators who have been fishing in these waters for generations are now fearing for their livelihoods.
The new system means that the EU talks to the UK and eventually, we get crumbs of information on both sides.
After a lengthy standoff, there was somewhat of a resolution, with the French fishermen eventually retreating home. The Royal Navy vessels were called back to port, and it is now hoped that discussions between Jersey and the European Union can in some way resolve this row.
Counting is about to get underway in a vote that could have huge implications for the future of Britain. Scots took to the polls with the results of the country's elections set to have a major impact on whether there will be a second referendum on Scottish independence. If Nicola Sturgeon's Scottish National Party wins a majority, a renewed push for a separation from the UK will be on the cards. Overnight, counting was postponed due to COVID restrictions, but will soon begin. A police officer is among 25 people killed during raids targeting a powerful drug gang in one of Rio de Janeiro's poorest communities. 6 alleged members of the gang were arrested with accusations they recruited children to commit crimes.
Police hit the streets with deadly force. And when they did, the local gang headed for higher ground. They opened fire at officers. One was fatally shot in the head. Police retaliated, pursuing the gunmen believed to be members of the drug gang Red Command. They hid on balconies and on walls, jumping from home to home. Residents were caught in the crossfire. 2 were wounded on a metro train, but it's believed they'll survive.
The other deaths sadly happened while the traffickers were targeting police, and they were then neutralised. It's that simple.
Red Command has been accused of drug trafficking and recruiting teenagers to commit crimes, including hijacking trains. On that intelligence, police acted, carrying out the raid despite a Supreme Court ban during the pandemic. Dozens of firearms and grenades were seized, and 6 men were arrested.
We have the conviction that everything that was done was planned and well executed and acceptable.
Officers defending their actions on a deadly day. Hayden Nelson, 7 News.
Sports coming up, and Theo, the coaches have had their say ahead of Showdown 49, all right?
Yeah, it means game time's nearly here, Smitho. It's good to hear them firing a shot at each other as well. A couple of star players are back, Rory Sloane and Travis Boak. The coaches will get the gloves off, and we'll hear from Matthew Nixon, Ken Hinkley very shortly. Stick around, and a Madrid masterclass from Ash Barty. Mike, your favourite, the Aussie star extending her unbeaten run on clay, inflicting a bit of pain in Spain. Hang around, sports not far away.
Can't wait, thanks Theo. A brazen thief's been caught red-handed up next. See the bungled pizza heist unfold right in front of cameras. Plus what the royal families had to say on little Archie's 2nd birthday. Terrified retirement home residents discover they're living with a serial killer, how they found out. And get a piece of this, a new vending machine that delivers fresh pizza in less than 3 minutes.
What stunning revelation brought this murder trial to a halt?
A twist that will make world news.
Crime Investigation Australia, Sunday on 7.
Gear up for Mother's Day at Anaconda. Cedarburg Ayanda women's jacket, now $159. And save $450 on the Fluid Nitro women's mountain bike. Head in store or shop online at anacondastores.com. Anaconda!
One of the most important things about cooking is a good set of pots and pans. They will make your life so easy, and they're built to last.
Get Diamond Earth, the all-new non-stick cookware collection from Clever for faster cooking and easier cleaning. Make amazing meals for the whole family. Cook salmon skin down, no fats or oils. The secret is in the German-engineered C3 Revlon coating, guaranteeing perfect non-stick performance with no hot spots. Diamond Earth's German technology is built to last. Don't pay over $500 for a top-quality cookware set. Call 02 9387 4100 or get to cleverrange.com.au. Get the 24cm fry pan and casserole pot, the 20cm fry pan and saucepan, plus the soft touch lids and 10-year guarantee for just $249. Order now and get this fast and fresh steamer. Plus, free postage anywhere in Australia. Only the first 50 orders get this 3-piece Clever Cut knife set, nearly $100 in value, absolutely free. Get the whole set, steamer, free postage and knife set. Call now and don't miss out.
You wash loads, but do you ever wash your washing machine? Every load leaves behind grime and, what's that smell? Pino Clean Washing Machine Cleaner removes 99.9% of germs, leaving it clean and fresh for longer. It's not clean unless it's Pino Clean.
The MS Game Changer Lottery is already over 50% sold. Will you build a Metricon home fit for a millionaire? Or pick the cash for a cool $1 million in the bank? Hurry, get your tickets now at msgamechanger.com.au.
Bargain Steel Centre, your centre for quality and tough verandas, sheds, carports and fencing that will still look good in years to come. Bargain Steel Centre design, fabricate and assemble all of their products in their own factory with service that's second to none. Their components are not bolted but welded for extra strength. Their products are individually custom designed and built, and they can supply a DIY package made up to your measurements. So, when you need a garage, veranda, carport or fencing, call Bargain Steel Centre.
There's no place like me for your next home loan. Break the bad spell with your current lender and switch to me. Get our award-winning home loan and a wickedly low rate. Speak to me or your broker today.
Get well sooner with Blackmore's Bio-C.
Dynamo Professional stain experts are testing the toughest stains to develop our best performing stain removal. Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus removes stains for a superior clean. Try Dynamo Professional.
Tea Tree Gully Council has confirmed it will report the theft of its ceremonial robe and chains to police after embattled Mayor Kevin Knight failed to return them by today's 4 p.m. deadline. Councillors have called for his resignation over misconduct and sexual harassment and the treatment of his wife during a heated exchange with a 7 News crew. Mr Knight is refusing to stand down and his request for medical leave has been rejected. The owners of a city pizza bar have taken to social media to publicly shame a suspected thief. They've posted security vision of the man accused of ransacking their restaurant. Taylor Jones has more.
The break-in has rattled the owners of this city restaurant. They opened their doors just 4 months ago. Still finding their feet, it was early Wednesday morning when the thief targeted the new business. The man used a tablecloth to pry a window open and climb into Remy's deep dish pizza and bar. Leaving the tablecloth and his fingerprints behind, security cameras captured the suspect make a beeline for the counter. After emptying the till and grabbing a tip jar, he nabs 2 iPads before turning his attention to the well-stocked bar.
He took the cheapest bottle of gin on our entire back bar when he could have taken anything else. He's touched everything. Like, there's so many fingerprints. It's like he was a kid at a museum.
It was a clumsy crime, but the owners are now thousands of dollars out of pocket. The suspect's still on the run, and that's why they've taken to social media in the hopes of tracking him down.
I don't want to judge too quickly. Maybe he was in a tight spot or something, but, peanut. You're a peanut, mate.
Police are urging anyone who recognises the suspect to contact Crime Stoppers.
Prince Harry and Meghan have released a new photo of their son Archie to celebrate his 2nd birthday in the US. They're using his special day to encourage people to donate or volunteer their time to a vaccine awareness charity. The Royals in London have also wished the 2-year-old a happy birthday, uploading photo tributes. A suspect is in custody and 5 staff have been freed after a standoff at a bank northwest of Minneapolis in the United States. A SWAT team kept watch outside the bank as hostages were gradually released over 8 hours. No one was injured in the standoff. Transgender serial killer Reginald Arthurall has been moved to new accommodation after protests from his neighbours at a Sydney retirement village. They were shocked to discover he'd been moved in, but the government says it's part of his reintegration to society. Serena Andaloro has more.
Residents at this Yagoona retirement village are in shock. Most had no idea their neighbour is triple murderer, transgender serial killer Reginald Arthurall, now Regina Kay. They found out after they saw pictures of her new identity circulating in the media last night. The 74-year-old left the village this afternoon, bags in tow, taken away.
Do you have anything to say to the residents? How are you feeling about all this?
Excuse me.
I'm glad the media's got on to where he's living with us 83-year-old old folk. I can't believe the parole board put him here.
She was offered a halfway house at Malabar but chose not to live there. Local police weren't informed until recently that she was living in the Bankstown area. Mayor of Canterbury Bankstown says he does not want the serial killer living in his city.
I don't want this grub living in my city. I don't want him living in Yagoona, in a retirement village with elderly, vulnerable people that are going to be visited by their children and grandchildren this Mother's Day on Sunday.
Arthurall was released on parole last November after serving 24 years for killing Venet Mulhall and his fiancée in 1997. Her parole ends on May 24, but an interim supervision order was taken out by the New South Wales Attorney General Mark Speakman, and it will immediately come into force.
I just think someone is missing logic here, and that missing logic is clearly not being, demonstrated correctly.
It's not the first time a murderer has ended up living among the elderly. In 2019, 7 News revealed 2 convicted killers were living in a nursing home in Sydney South.
A Mount Compass couple says it's living in fear next to a neighbour from hell. Security video shows the accused assaulting his alleged victim following a dispute over a fence.
How would you like it if someone came to your house and attacked you, especially on your property? It's crazy.
See the full story in our main bulletin at 6 o'clock. An extremely rare purple and pink diamond is set to go under the hammer this month. Up next, the eye-watering price is 15.81 carat jewel is expected to fetch. Also, the world's watching China's rogue rocket. Where will it fall? And a delicate operation unfolds. A downed crane finally removed after crushing 3 homes.
Saturday live at 7 p.m.
Adelaide Oval is set to erupt.
The showdown is live and free on 7.
Form and ladder position mean nothing when the match can turn on a single moment of brilliance. The primetime showdown at Adelaide Oval is live on 7. But first, Centrals and Norwood in the Sandful Statewide Super League. The showdown in a Saturday doubleheader on 7.
Go from this to this in quick and easy steps at home. Be your own colour specialist. The special formula protects my hair throughout the colouring process and covers up those pesky greys. And for easy touch-ups in between colours, try hair mascara or root retoucher. Schwarzkopf.
Let's stop hand washing, use our dishwashers more often and save up to 200 litres of water a week. And when you buy the finished water donation pack exclusively from Coles, we'll donate 40 litres of water to farmers. Let's promise to make hand washing dishes history.
At Portside Mitsubishi, drive a little and save a lot on our selection of new demo and used vehicles. We'll give you more for less with savings across our entire range. So don't go anywhere, don't buy anything, don't sign anything until you've checked out the deals at Portside Mitsubishi. The Samsung Neo QLED range, available now at Harvey Norman.
Priceline Pharmacy's 3-day sale is on now, with up to half-price fragrance, the perfect Mother's Day gift, plus half-price big brand makeup. Sale ends Saturday at Priceline Pharmacy.
If pain in heel, knee or lower back reoccurs, your feet could be the source of the pain. Try Scholl In-Balance Orthotic Insoles. They help reduce stress in the lower body to help relieve pain. Endorsed by the Australian Podiatry Association.
Ben & Jerry's Topped. Discover a delicious chocolatey fudge topping, then dig in to uncover even more with swirls of salted caramel and chocolate fudge brownies. Ben & Jerry's Topped. Layered with goodness from top to bottom.
You're watching 7's Afternoon News live in Adelaide, and the sun is shining at Torrensville, the Savo. Some four-legged friends lapping up the warmer weather. It's 22 degrees, and we'll have more on the weather later in the hour. Now, recapping our top stories. South Australia has secured two major business deals, creating hundreds of local jobs and providing a huge boost for the travel industry. SA Police have announced tough new border restrictions for travellers from New South Wales. Anyone who's been to an exposure site in Greater Sydney is now banned from entering the state. And local residents are outraged after vandals in the state's northeast dumped raw meat on a cricket pitch used by Hindu Indian migrants. A rogue Chinese space rocket is heading for Earth, but specialists say it's impossible to know exactly where and when its debris will land. It's already triggered a heated exchange of comments from Beijing and Washington. Tim Lester has more.
Returning to Earth unguided. In the same week, the world watched SpaceX gently lower its capsule and 4 astronauts under large canopies into the Gulf of Mexico, a very different trip back. China's Long March 5B rocket lifted off last week on a mission to deploy part of the country's planned space station. Now, the 30-metre core of the used rocket is expected to make an uncontrolled return to Earth this weekend.
We're certainly tracking its location through US Space Command.
Tracking, but US Space Command says its exact entry point into the Earth's atmosphere cannot be pinpointed until within hours of its re-entry.
And it's going at 17,500 miles per hour, so even the smallest little change will cause it to deviate great amounts.
The Pentagon is interested too.
At this point, we don't have a plan to shoot the rocket down. We're hopeful that it will land in a place where it won't harm anyone, hopefully in the ocean or someplace like that.
If something is going to happen, there's nothing that you can do about it. So just like anything, go about your day, don't worry about it.
China's tabloid Global Times agrees. It says the situation has been overhyped in the West and is not worth panicking about. We'll likely know this weekend.
Authorities are on high alert after lava spilled out of a large crack which opened up in the side of a volcano in Central America. It flowed more than 2 kilometres down the side of Pacaya crater, close to Guatemala's capital, Guatemala City. Visitors are being kept away, but there's no current risk to nearby communities. Checking finance now with Stephen Daglian at CommSec, and another decent performance from the Australian share market today, Steve.
Good afternoon, Mike, and happy Friday. Exactly right. Look, the Aussie market edged higher by about 0.25% today. We were up about twice as much at one stage, so we did fade a little into the afternoon. But the good news, we had 4 gains in 5 days, still very close to a 14.5-month high as well. Now, over the week, some of the best performers were gold mining companies, as the gold price is up near a 3-month high. So companies like Resolute Mining and Silver Lake did quite nicely. And also the worst by far were technology stocks, last year's market darlings. So 3 of the worst, Afterpay, the buy now, pay later company, aerial mapping group Nearmap, and also machine learning company Appen. All 3 dropped by about 20% over the week. Now, travel stocks managed to rebound from what was a difficult few sessions. Some better news on the coronavirus front in Sydney, certainly helpful for companies like Flight Centre, which rose about 7% today. And it was a massive week for the banks as well. 4 of the big 5 all released profit results this week, mostly heading higher. So we had some share price improvements there too. The Aussie dollar finally at around 77.6 US. Mike.
Thanks for that, Steve. A massive crane that crushed 3 homes in the Sunshine Coast is slowly being removed. Residents are anxiously watching on as larger cranes lift the wreckage. Simon Nichols is there.
The toppled 80-tonne crane has been lying on top of 3 homes in the suburb of Narimba for the past week. Towing crews have been on site at Benjamin Crescent since first light, preparing for the massive lift.
We're going to actually collapse the crane while it's laying on its side. So we'll have 2 cranes suspending the boom, and then we'll retract it in and fold it up.
The extended boom is about 40 to 50 metres long. 2 cranes have been brought in for the hoist. A 130-tonne crane will be at the base, and a 55-tonne crane will be positioned on the other street.
Once the cranes are in place, they take a while to set up, and it shouldn't take too long. Within an hour or so, if it all goes planned and smoothly, within an hour we should have it folded up.
The boom will be lifted, retracted, and then the toppled crane will be lowered back onto its wheels. Anxious residents have gathered, watching the extraordinarily tightly managed preparation works all morning. Workplace health and safety is watching on. Families have been relocated since the mass machinery fell. The other affected property was a new home nearing the end of construction.
The flawless pink-purple Sakura diamond is expected to fetch around $49 million when it goes to auction in Hong Kong. The 15.81 carat jewel is the largest of its kind to be auctioned and will go under the hammer in 2 weeks. The name Sakura translates to cherry blossom, in short, in bloom in Japanese. Italians are divided by a new vending machine in the capital city, Rome, which can deliver a fresh pizza within 3 minutes of an order. The Mr. Go pizza machine can serve 4 flavours, including margherita, 4 cheeses, spicy or ham, for up to $9. Traditionalists say it'll struggle to compete with a wood-fired pizza for a slice of the market. Yes, it makes me want to throw up that. Time for sport now. Theo doesn't, of course. Well, Theo, Boak and Sloane, the stars, well, they're back for the showdown.
Exactly what we want, isn't it, Mike? There's always a little subplot for each showdown. Now we're sweating on the fitness of a couple of stars. Luckily for the Port and Crows, they'll be back playing. Also, coming up, the coaches will have their say, fueling the fiery showdown rival. And a trio of Swans mentors escape a COVID scare to join their team in Melbourne.
The crucifixion was so brutal and thorough.
He's been abandoned by everybody.
I was public enemy #1.
Charges of assault.
This is what I struggle with and what I've struggled with for 3.5 years.
I've just waited for the day that I can speak.
In this post-Weinstein #MeToo world gone mad, I can't win.
Dynamo Professional stain experts are testing the toughest stains to develop our best performing stain removal. Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus removes stains for a superior clean. Try Dynamo Professional.
Hi, I'm Brett March, manager of Dave Benson Caravans. We have a large variety of caravans on display, including cruisers, off-roaders and camper trailers. DBC is a caravan superstore completely undercover. I have build spots available for new orders now. A variety of vans ready for immediate delivery and in-house finance is available. With our huge service and crash repair centre, we're a one-stop shop. Check out our website, Dave Benson Caravans, where your adventure begins.
What have we got here? Vanish Gold Multi-Power. Looks like they're daring me to rewear. Grab an old favourite, just half a scoop, wash and rewear. I wore this favourite when Ollie was born. Yeah, he loves getting his brekkie all over it. It's not smelling too good and it's looking pretty drab. I'm not sure this is going to work. You know what? Let's give it a crack. The colour is awesome and the stains disappeared. This looks like new and smells great.
Vanish Gold Multi-Power removes stains, brightens colours and removes odours.
It makes sense to shop at Macleay's bulk store. Your parents, in fact, your grandparents probably did. For generations, Macleay's have been famous for huge discounts. Carpet up to 60% off, rolls and remnants, a bit like me. Vinyl flooring less than half price, full and part rolls. Floating floors with exciting new colours. The famous Macleay's bulk store. The place hasn't changed in 30 years, but it's not hard to find and the prices make it worthwhile. Coghlan Street, Brompton.
With the aged care industry growing in South Australia, there's low-cost skills and training available now, including apprenticeships. Unlock opportunities to earn while you learn and build your career. Explore your passion. Visit skills.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
At Nurofen, we know playful kids are happy kids, but sometimes fever gets in the way. Nurofen for children lasts for up to 8 hours and can be taken on empty tummies. You do the fun and games, we'll do the fever relief.
New from Nivea, naturally good face care. Up to 99% naturally derived ingredients, plus 1% for stability and safety. For hydrated and naturally radiant skin. 100% transparency for 100% trust.
An inspirational escape with ideas to style up any garden.
A beautiful and romantic landscape.
New Better Homes, tonight on 7/2.
Hello again. Well, Crows coach Matthew Nicks has confirmed captain Rory Sloane will play in tomorrow night's blockbuster showdown. He'll be one of 4 changes for Adelaide, while star midfielder Travis Boak is back for the Power.
We get a handshake? No. We don't like each other.
Both coaches would have you believe that exchange was tongue-in-cheek, but there's an old saying, a joke is truth wrapped in a smile. The showdown rivalry hit a new height after football boss Chris Davies accused the Crows of being jealous of the Power.
It's a big call. We don't like them much. We get along okay when it's not footy, but I think on Saturday night, he's not going to like me much, hopefully.
I think we might have been favourites last week. That helped us. Didn't help us a bit. Favouritism in showdowns doesn't matter. Ladder position doesn't matter. The team who wants it the most matters.
But Hinkley revealed Port Adelaide's going to great lengths to fire up its players.
We educate them. We give them an understanding of what it is. We talk about Ramsgate. And it's on.
And after all that, there's selection. Rory Sloane's good to go, giving Nicks the chance to deliver the news Crows fans have been desperate to hear.
Sloane went well this morning again, so off the back of specialists giving him the all clear, yeah, he'll play.
But the coach was then forced to defend the use of star forward Tom Lynch, despite announcing he'll miss at least 2 months after having toe surgery.
There's a lot of things we'd like to look back over and maybe change the way we went about it. We're hoping this operation gets him back on track.
There are no such worries for Ken Hinkley. Travis Boak is back and rejoins star Ollie Wines in the Power midfield.
You just know when a player's comfortable, and I think he understands his role. I think that's where Ollie is right now. That doesn't mean he's got 22, let's hope more than that, great games in him every week, but he'll be pretty close to being good, I reckon.
Ollie's in some rare form. It's amazing what confidence can do too for a player. He's not an easy matchup because he is a big, strong inside mid, but he's got the ability to get outside as well.
We'll have more from the coaches tonight. Now, the Swans have received a boost ahead of tomorrow's clash with the Demons, with 3 assistant coaches eventually cleared to enter Victoria. Former Crows coach Don Pike, as well as Jarryd McVeigh and Dean Cox, were initially blocked from travelling after visiting a COVID hotspot. However, they have been given a reprieve and will join the team a day late after returning negative tests. Tonight, it's the grand final rematch, with the Tigers favoured to beat the Cats at the MCG. You can catch that one live and free right here on 7. Well, Ash Barty is on track to claim her first Madrid Open title. The world #1 extended her clay court wins to 16 straight, cruising into the final with a 6-4, 6-3 win over Paula Badosa. Fellow Aussie Alex de Minaur was beaten in straight sets by Austria's Dominic Thiem in the round of 16. Rafael Nadal is through to his 15th Madrid quarter-final, downing Australian Alexei Popyrin. Well, moments later, the King of Clay was honoured as the Laureus World Sportsman of the Year.
Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart to the Laureus Academy.
Naomi Osaka claimed the Sportswoman of the Year. Lewis Hamilton was also honoured with his 3rd Laureus Award, becoming the first recipient of the Athlete Advocate Award. Well, Adelaide United has dropped out of the A-League top 4 after Macarthur FC picked up a 2-1 win over Melbourne Victory last night. The Bulls snapped a 5-game winless run.
Vignette's ball, it's a good one. It's a very good one.
The Reds will play at home tonight against Wellington. A win will take them all the way back up to 2nd on the ladder. Well, Manchester United has booked its place in the Europa League final despite losing 3-2 to Roma this morning. United's 4-goal demolition in the first leg of the semi-final secured an 8-5 win on aggregate. The Red Devils will face Spanish club Villarreal in the final following its 0-0 draw with Arsenal. And with some precious cargo on board, the trucks carrying the supercars received a hero's welcome to South Australia, with Taylor Ben hosting this weekend's OTR Super Sprint. On the track, Shane van Gisbergen is the odds-on favourite ahead of tomorrow's first V8 Supercars race, with 2 more events on Sunday. They look pretty snazzy. Smitho coming up tonight, all the team news for Showdown 49. A couple of ins for the Crows we haven't told you about yet. We'll reveal them at 6 o'clock.
And what's your tip for tomorrow?
For the Showdown? Port Adelaide comfortably.
I'd hate to be running out against Port Adelaide after their match last week, but stranger things have happened. Thanks, Theo. Well, you want to round up the kids for this next story coming up. Some lucky rescue pups come nose to nose with their on-screen heroes from Paw Patrol. Meet Taronga Zoo's newest arrival, the precious echidna puggle, melting keepers' hearts. And Amelia will be back with the all-important showdown weather forecast.
To describe this weekend of footy, there's just no other way to say it.
No way!
This is the most exciting weekend of footy this year.
It's a beauty!
How does a grand final rematch sound?
It's good. It's really good.
Can Geelong get their revenge? Or will Richmond remind them who's boss? Oh, and look who's back.
When Dusty's around, it's real dangerous.
Saturday, live at 7. Form and ladder position mean nothing when the match can turn on a single moment of brilliance. The showdown is live, but first, Friday night football on 7.
At McCafe, every sixth coffee is free when you order on the My Macca's app. Buy any 5 coffees and your next one is on us. Download the My Macca's app and start earning your free coffees today.
Come on, Mum, have some water.
It's just a tickle. I'll try a lolly. It might go away.
Uh-oh. Looks like the first signs of a sore throat. Lollies may dampen a tickle, but Strepsils Extra fights bacteria and soothes the throat. Take Strepsils Extra to fight the first signs of a sore throat.
Breathe new life into your home with Beacon's new winter collection at 30% off your second item. Mix and match from our entire range and get 30% off your second. Sail on now.
What if you said C?
You don't own me.
The new Eau de Parfum Intense. C. Giorgio Armani.
Discover your signature scent. It's easy to spread germs around the home, but it's also easy to help protect your family by simply cleaning your home with Dettol. Help stop the spread this winter. Kills 99.9% of germs, including the COVID-19 virus.
When it comes to cremations, there is a choice. Choose Centennial Park, a trusted name set in stunning surrounds. Choose care, a personal touch and dignity. Choose peace of mind, Contemplation Court, allowing you time to decide upon a more permanent memorial for your loved one. Adelaide Cremations at Centennial Park. Care like nobody else.
Go from this to this in quick and easy steps at home. Be your own colour specialist. The special formula protects my hair throughout the colouring process and covers up those pesky greys. And for easy touch-ups in between colours, try hair mascara or root retoucher. Schwarzkopf.
It's the question that has Goliath working up a sweat.
Popularised by Jane Fonda is the expression, feel the what? A. Steel. B. Crunch. C. Burn.
Are you up to the challenge? A mind-bending new chase. Weekdays on 7.
This weather report is brought to you by Revitive Circulation Booster. Get Revitive today. It just might change your life. Sit back and relax. It's your Revitive time.
Good afternoon, it's Bethany Hisker from the Lumo Energy Traffic Centre. In Mount Osmond on the freeway up track, the left-hand lane is closed and speeds are reduced both ways for works. In Salisbury South, expect delays on Kings Road, McIntyre Road and May North Road for the intersection upgrade. Lumo Energy SA, 100% Australian owned with energy plans and great local rewards made for Adelaide. Visit lumoenergy.com.au for details. That's the latest Adelaide traffic now. Back to you, Mike.
Thanks for that, Bethany. Taronga Zoo has welcomed an adorable new arrival, a short-beaked echidna puggle. To celebrate, the zoo's released incredibly rare pictures of the baby just a month after it was born. The puggle's sex is yet to be confirmed and it doesn't have a name yet. If the kids are anywhere near the TV, round them up. They'll want to see this next story. A couple of RSPCA rescue pups have had a dog's day out of the entertainment centre to meet their on-screen heroes from Paw Patrol. Tails were certainly wagging with delicious treats all round. They also used the occasion to remind us all about the Million Paws Walk on Sunday the 16th of May.
Come along with your family and bring your dogs for a wonderful fun day out in support of a really great cause to help animals in need, just like Harry.
And that's at Victoria Park for a terrific cause, so please don't miss it. Now let's get a check of the weather, and Amelia's at Adelaide Oval this afternoon with some very nice silverware there, Amelia.
It's not looking bad, Smitho. This is what Port Adelaide and the Crows are playing for, the Variety Showdown Shield, and they're all playing for it tomorrow. Now, Variety, the children's charity, also partners with both clubs, helping them with community programs throughout South Australia, really. Now, today we've had a lovely sunny afternoon at times. Bit of high cloud over Adelaide Oval at the moment, and that's really persisted about today. Light northerly winds have persisted as well. They've helped us hit a top of 22.4 degrees, and it was a warm start. Our low was 14.8 just after 7 a.m. right now. It's still around that 22-degree mark. Elsewhere, a cool but dry afternoon in Melbourne. Hobart's warmer at 20. That's the current temperature in Sydney as well. And there's a slight chance of a shower there tonight and in Perth. Back home, and a trough has been driving showers over the northwest of the state this afternoon. It's weakening ahead of a cold front that will clip the south tomorrow. Second front is due on Monday, but tomorrow there is a good chance of wet weather across most of the state. Aside from in the far northeast, rain's likely at times over the pastoral districts, with the odd rumble tipped about the far northwest. Rain will feature in the morning about Murray, 21's the top there, and it'll feature on and off in Coober Pedy and Roxby Downs, 23. Port Augusta's going for a top of 25, and it should be a dry day in Renmark, 23 is the top there. Showers are expected further south as well. More likely the further south you go. A top of 21's on the way for Port Lincoln, Whyalla, Kadina and Murray Bridge. 20 for Clare, New Riltpa and Victor Harbour. 18 for Mount Gambier. In the city, down to 13 degrees overnight. There could be a bit of fog about the northern suburbs, with showers tipped to develop over the metro area during the morning, clearing later in the afternoon. Anywhere from 1 to 4 millimetres is forecast, with 20 degrees the forecast top. And for Mother's Day on Sunday, we could see the odd shower. They're more likely about the hills, but make sure you prepare that Mother's Day lunch accordingly. Smitho?
Thanks, Amelia, and happy Mother's Day to you. And that's all from 7 Adelaide's afternoon news. Team Jane will have our next bulletin at 6 o'clock. From me, it's bye for now.
What if you were faced with this? How can you ever possibly resist?
Don't push it. Push it? No! No!
It's almost irresistible.
Who's going to press it first?
To push or not to push? That is the question. If you do, will it be something extraordinarily good? Or exceptionally bad? It could send someone to the top or to the bottom.
Remember when you were king of the jungle?
It seems like a long time ago, Nick.
It was only 3 days ago. To push or not to push, my big red button. I can't wait to show you.
Sunday at 7 on 7.
These four strangers must work as a team to win thousands of dollars, but